friendly friend. All right. There we go. Oh, we lost a friendly friend, but our friendly friend should return. Take a few moments to sort of rock from the ball of the foot to the heel and allow the shoulders to relax and maybe even sigh a few times. Any movements that feel nice. Right now, me, this sort of gentle swaying feels enjoyable. Always be willing to make noises. It's our body releasing energy charges, and so never feel like you have to hold them back. Now allow yourself to come to standing with the feet about shoulder width distance, and let one hand rest on the dantian, and the other hand comes to rest on the heart. Allow the shoulders to relax and let the eyes close. Take a few moments to sink into the earth beneath you. Allow the jaw to relax and begin to check in to notice and observe your breath. And of course, we've all practiced, done different meditation practices where we notice the breath. It's very much a way to connect to the present moment. Through that observation, it's sort of like a science experiment. The scientist observing the experiment has an effect on the results of that experiment. And as you observe the breath, it begins to change. And perhaps it deepens. And perhaps it slows. Allowing yourself to be here for a few moments. Right where you are. This standing meditation to begin our practice. When the mind wanders, or when the body develops a little bit of tension, bring your awareness to the exhalation. Allow it to encourage softness. And finally, take one more inhale and sigh it out on the exhale. And with the breath, let it go. Allow the arms to come down. Find a little movement to start, a multi-part movement. The arms come up to shoulder height, and you're opening the chest so the palms face each other, opening, and the palms face up, reach up, and draw down. Continuing, rising with the arms, opening the chest, reaching up and sinking down. Finding softness in the joints, and allowing your movements to adapt to your needs, your specifications. Maybe arms don't expand upwards so much, or perhaps you even change the movement. Maybe you shift it to our usual bringing down the heavens if this movement is not resonating with you. And I invite you to always evolve your practice. These practices of Qigong and yoga, Tai Chi, any meditative practices were developed by individuals thousands of years ago, dealing with human issues just like we do today. The world was, of course, quite different, but they still had this desire to quiet the mind and to take good care of the body, this kind of draw towards understanding our nature. So they evolved things, they developed and evolved practices, and as we continue being part of humanity and encouraging and contributing to its evolution, we can evolve them as well, as we should. Once more, finding this opening, and you might even have developed your own little flow to it, little bounces and such, and press the hands down. Give yourself some movement in the wrists and the hips and the ankles. The funky dance is always appropriate. Hands come together and give them a rubbing. And so as we rub our hands, and we've talked about some different points, different acupressure points, and I really love incorporating that information into our classes. And sometimes it's hard to remember though. And so I'm going to try to be more kind of building upon these things as well, so that we can kind of remember. So come to that area between the first finger and the thumb. This is the Hagu point. I'm trying to think if I think it's actually considered a large intestine point. It might be, actually it's a lung point. It's hard because you have these meridians, and I like to study these things. I think it's very interesting. But I don't have nearly enough information to give you much information. But as you rub this point, you can just think of it as being a place to encourage the metal element. And we talked a lot about the metal element, about transformation, letting go. Come to the other hand and rub your Hagu point, Hegu, Hegu. And it's tender, perhaps. Mine is tender. That would be an indication that there's maybe a little stuckness in the metal element energy in the lung, the large intestine, the skin. So we have these connections to our the elements within us. Many ancient cultures believed that the human is a microcosm of the macrocosm, and I dig it. I definitely do. You're going to wring the hands, kind of bring the fingers together and wring the hands. And you can rub the fingers however you want, kind of bringing attention to the webbing between each finger as you go. These are doshi points. And they help with our immunity. I think last week we talked a little bit more, the lung and large intestine, the metal element, very much about our elimination or system of elimination and releasing toxins from the body. Obviously, the large intestine also given, and the lungs especially as well. They're an organ of elimination, so is the skin. And so we're also just kind of thinking about immunity in general when we think of the metal element. So rubbing these kind of areas between the fingers, maybe up to the nail bed, be intuitive with yourself. Because not only are you stimulating the meridians, the channels of energy, but you're just encouraging the release of tension from the hands, coming to each hand, maybe working your way into the middle of the hand. where the Lao Gong, these minor chakras, reside. And they're connected with the fire element, part of the complex fire element system. So you're rubbing these spaces, and today oftentimes we'll find movements where the Lao Gong face each other, and that's supposed to be kind of a building of energy as well. It helps us to sort of build our energy, to calm the heart, which when we're relaxed, energy flows a lot easier through the system. And now coming to the outside edge of the hand, sort of rubbing the outside edge of the hand, and then coming to kind of the wrist here where the hand meets the wrist. Here's the spirit gate point, and you can rub each wrist. You might even move the hand around, rubbing the outside edge of the hand and moving the hand around a little bit, whatever feels interesting to you. The spirit gate, a fire element point. So again, fire element, thinking about joy and warmth, enthusiasm. And this is a very much a summertime element. That makes sense, it works. But it's important that our fire element stays, that we kind of stimulate it, that we bring joy into our lives during the season of water, which is winter time, which is where we are, believe it or not. It doesn't really feel wintry, but I'm kind of that point from the winter solstice to the, you have the winter solstice is going to be kind of the middle of the water element, really, in reality, the ultimate moment of yin, whereas the summer solstice is the ultimate moment of yang. So winter, fire, water, fire, kind of playing with those points. Now, just because it's good for us, we're going to take our dragon beaks and we're going to tap underneath of the collarbones. Again, coming back to metal, coming back to the lung. And this time of year, the lungs can be a little sensitive. So again, thinking about keeping our immune system functioning well, and moving from the shoulders to the sternum. And as we are all very much aware, being a relaxed kind of demeanor, being relaxed, feeling calm is good for the nerve, or good for the immune system and the nervous system. It's good for every system. And so as you're tapping, as you're using your little dragon beaks, or maybe even you could cough a little bit. You could make the noise. The lung healing sound. Very nice. We're gonna rub the arm. It doesn't matter where you begin, maybe from the shoulder, and just rubbing. Usually I like to pat, I'm big on patting, but just rubbing sort of from the shoulder down to the wrist. You could even come back to the hand a little bit, and then you're gonna rub back up. It doesn't matter where you go, just rubbing, just stimulating these points. The metal element and the fire element have meridians that go through the upper extremities, and then the earth element and the water element and the wood element have meridians that come up and down through the legs. So just kind of little connections, just to mention it. Doesn't matter if you remember it. I'm gonna rub the other arm, and again, you can start at the shoulder. It just might feel nice to sort of rub down the arm. This is good for you. Coming into your body a little bit, being kind to your body, taking your time, rubbing wherever your hand takes you. Let the arm come to you. I'm gonna pat down the ribs. I really love this, from the armpit down to the hip and back up. Do it a few times. Do it as much as feels nice to you. And come to the other side when you're ready. There are wood element meridians running up and down through the sides of the body. Talking in terms of elements rather than organ systems for this moment in time. At least my attempt to, anyway. Very nice. And now go ahead and take your tapping fingers to the top of your head and just go wherever the mood takes you. Find any sticky places. Ooh, sometimes a tenderness. Observing, just like with the breath, as we observe, we transform. Observation is the key to transformation. And so that's what we're doing. Awareness, observation, tapping, maybe the face, maybe your fingertips want to go to the face, maybe you want to massage the ears. And I invite you to do whatever feels right, even if it's something completely different than what I am doing. You might come down to the those points, those gallbladder points. Darn it, I did it again. I mentioned the organ systems. And here on the back of the head, where the neck meets the skull. Sometimes in our attempt to just color things in a different way, we forget. I overcolor. You're all used to that now. Rubbing those points where the pernicious influences can get in. Strengthening your Wei Qi, your protective Qi. And then come into the belly. Let the hands stack on the abdomen and give yourself some belly circles. And I'm going down the left and up the right, so the direction of the large intestine, which is a pretty good way to go. You can go either way, really. It's about being intuitive. There are many different holistic modalities. As we know, we have access to so much at this juncture in human history. And there's a self-massage, kind of an abdominal massage practice that I've been learning about quite a bit, and you can access all of the different elements through the organs, of course, but you're really just giving yourself this love and attention, encouraging the flow of your chi, life force. Pat the pelvis and give it a little pat one side to the other. We're going to go ahead down the legs, and maybe you rub down the legs. I'm going to rub one leg at a time. I'm going to go down the leg, just rubbing, going up and down, sort of breaking up some of the fascia, helping it to release tension, coming down as far as you go, rubbing the leg, going to the other side. And again, if patting feels better, pat the leg. Maybe you find some places on the leg where there's a little tenderness or something interesting going on. Be willing to adapt your practice. And finishing up with kind of pummeling our water element, coming up as high as you do on the back, up and down. You might round forward. Pummel. And then come back to center and bounce a little bit. So you've gotten all of this stuff moving, all of these different meridians of body, channels of energy. You've gotten stuff moving, and they're just shaking, bouncing. And come to center and feel your aliveness. Stand in a Qigong stance. Allow the arms to relax at the sides of the body and allow the eyes to close, sort of feeling this fullness within you. Maybe as you breathe, the shoulders stack on top of the hips, the jaw relaxes and ears stack atop the shoulders. The chin is slightly tucked and the crown of the head draws upwards towards the heaven. A big inhale and let it go. Now bring your hands to the dantian. You have this center of energy in the body, and it's very connected to the water element. Let the hands come out in front of the dantian and sort of opening and closing at the dantian. And expanding and condensing. The water element, wintertime, the unknown. Also the will. There is a yin will, which is your destiny, sort of the time and place you were born and the trajectory that your life seems to be taking because of the circumstances around you. And then the yang will, which is our decision-making power, our ability to decide what we're going to do. A decision is a very wood element kind of thing. However, we have this will that makes it possible. So we have to have the water element in order to give rise to that ability to make decisions that happens through the wood element. We have water and we have the yin will, our time and place, our sort of destiny, some might call it, and our yang will, which is our ability to kind of choose what path we take. Coming back to center, let the palms face up, coming up and down, up to the heart and back down to the dantian. So here we have this connection now between the water element and the fire element. Fire. Inspiration. Communication, our connection with the divine within us. Many ancient cultures felt that that was the case. Beyond the religiosity that we tend to connect it with, something way deeper than that, depth within us. And so we need fire to really warm the water. Each of these elements affects each other, just like our yang will in the water element would give rise to the ability to make decisions in wood, which gives rise to this sort of joy and fruition of our ideas. We have to have that joy. That's part of the reason at this time of year we have all these bright lights and warmth and coziness and that idea of fire. Pressing down and once more coming back up to the heart, and this time allow the palms to face each other at the heart and find open and close as the palms face each other. Allow gong facing each other and this being that soothing movement for the heart. So we began at the water element and we made a connection between water and fire. And now we're soothing the fire element, balancing it. we're going to wash the barrels next. So let the hands face the body and reaching up with the fingers and back down, harmonizing the elements. Sometimes they're called intelligences, the intelligences, the 5 elements, 5 intelligences, 5 phases, so many different names. But it's a methodology of kind of understanding things, of understanding this microcosm that is ourself in this human form within the larger system. Very much connected, very much reflective. Balancing. So next we're going to play in water. That's kind of fun. Coming back down, holding your hands out in front of you. You might shake, move the ankles around, find a little wider stance. It's like you've got a bucket or you are a bucket, and dip down, reach up and splash. So it's very energizing movement, playing in water. I like it because it's a little more energizing even than our parting the clouds, which is one of my favorites. But playing in water, and of course being gentle with yourself. If it makes you feel dizzy, perhaps the other is better, are parting the clouds. So again, you must adapt your practice to your needs. Hey, 1 or 2 more times playing in water. I can feel the water flicking off my fingers, and come back to center. Give yourself a funky dance, and then allow yourself to rest for a moment. So there you have this idea of water paired with that fire, paired with that more energizing movement. Stand in a Qigong stance. Take a big inhale and let it go. We're going to gather in. Bring one hand around and gather into the Dantian. Come on in, and you're drawing in everything that is helpful and useful from around you. You might consider that water element, the will, both our yin will, sort of the yin will being more like the river, and the yang will being what direction we decide to go in the river. And we can make these decisions. Oh yes, I see a rock. I will swim around the rock, but still going in that flow. I'm swaying. It feels nice. Maybe you're swaying too. Drawing in, and we're going to come up towards the heart next. Draw into the heart. Oh, bringing in warmth and fire and light onto the fire element. So drawing that light, that joy and inspiration from around you into the heart, just gathering it, filling the heart, allowing yourself to feel that warmth, that joy, that fire that helps to keep the water element flowing, really. When we get too cold, you can think of the water will freeze if it gets too cold. Then we have a very difficult time fulfilling our destiny. So you're keeping the water warm, like the sun shining on the river. And now we're going to draw in from the crown of the head. And so this is a little different, coming around and down. can move slower than I am moving. Maybe you move faster than I'm moving. I'm just drawing in sort of from the crown of the head. You could even consider that being your taking your intellectual abilities and bringing them deeper into the body to rest, grounding yourself, drawing in just the information that will be helpful for you and useful for you. It's very personal. You might close your eyes and notice any sensations in the body. Notice the breath. And we're here just a few more moments. Moving the hand, reaching around and drawing from the crown of the head down towards the dantian. And once more on each side. And you're going to finish up by bringing the hands to the dantian. And get there and take a big inhale and let it go. And now from the dantian to the heart, coming up with one hand and pressing the hand out, switching hands from the dantian to the heart. So you're cycling that water element and the fire element, pressing out, cycling it, and keeping a nice balance. In the winter time, it's especially when it's cloudy. Today is a nice sunny day, but it can be difficult to stay optimistic when it's cold and cloudy and we feel kind of not seasonal affective disorder, or kind of, you can call it that, but you could also call it just that you need a little bit more fire in your water. And in traditional Chinese medicine, diagnoses are much different than they are in Western medicine. They're very fluid, very individual, and it's all about imbalances, and it's all about just kind of working with yourself to stimulate balance. And so this idea that maybe if you're feeling a little down or a little lethargic, maybe you get up and do a few movements and listen to your intuition. What movements feel good? Maybe you do 2 or 3 different Qigong movements. And then maybe you feel a little bit better. Maybe you feel a little more balanced. That doesn't hurt. And this might feel really nice to you. It feels really nice to me right now. Out and drawing back down, and we're going to find our water gong next. And so coming back to center, and you might touch the dantian. I like to do that between different movements. I like my feet to be a little further apart for the water gong. One hand rests on the low back, the palm facing away from the body, and see if the shoulder can relax. Other arm comes out, forming your cup and getting a nice stretch maybe as you draw the hand across and scoop down into some cool water. So many different gongs, many different movements associated with each element with different characteristics. And here you are, just utilizing that water energy that is a little stronger. That's the idea, is that in each season, each element becomes a little bit more strong in our system. Water is also this need to rest, this need to restore ourselves. And so, knowing that it's important to rest, knowing that in just a couple weeks we'll pass from this season of moving inward towards a season of yang rising. As soon as the winter solstice occurs, then we're heading back into we're heading towards the summer solstice. Constant change. Once more, and dipping down and drawing across. We'll finish on that scoop and scooping, and the hand all lower down. We're gonna do a little clearing the chi here. Just 3 nice chi clearing movements. And then to the other side. The other side, relax the shoulder. And bring a hand across. Maybe reestablish your stance. And ooh. Once more, drawing across and scoop. Let the hand come down. Walk the feet a little closer together and bring the hands up to the sides of the body, the palms face up, finding that little push and pull. The wood gong. The warming phase that we'll be shifting towards before you know it. Having nice balance in the water element will encourage the growth of good things in the springtime. So just sort of reminding ourselves of that at this moment in our practice. Why it's so important to rest, to sleep, be gentle with ourselves. We practice our Qigong and take a little stroll when the sun is shining, but then keep ourselves nice and warm and cozy so that we can nurture that growth. And coming back to center, bring down the heavens, reaching up and drawing down, and twice more. And finally, reaching up and drawing down, press the hands down. This time we're going to set up for that little lying down meditation or seated meditation. And so I encourage you to find whatever works for you. For myself, if I was going to be relaxing, I would probably want to have a blanket or a mat down, I'd like to have something underneath of the back of my head. And if it's available for you to lie down, do so. But if that's just not comfortable, and I know some of us have very comfortable chairs, you're welcome to use your chair. I know that for myself, having something to place under the knees can be really nice. And so just really taking a few moments to get comfortable. Uh, I wouldn't want to have my feet stuck under blankets or anything. Maybe you grab a blanket. It might be a little cooler. And as the body relaxes, it tends to cool as well. And so depending upon where you are, just allow yourself to settle in, to just relax and allow your arms, your hands to rest wherever they feel comfortable. Allow the head to rest on something also, and so that you're not using, trying to really not use any of your muscles to try to just really allow yourself to sink into your support and allow the eyes to close, to soften. You might take a few nice deep breaths when you arrive at this space and maybe even sigh on the exhale and find a little bit more release through the jaw. And there is this practice of the inner smile, the pituitary gland that rests sort of between the ears and above the soft palate of the mouth. You might take your tongue and kind of rub the soft palate and just noticing, and then let your tongue relax and the jaw relaxes, and bring that awareness even up to between your eyes and back into this sort of area within the head. Breathing naturally. And imagine within this space this beautiful smile deep within you. And this inner smile kind of comes from that space of the pituitary gland. You might even imagine a smell that brings you a sense of ease and peace. A smell of flowers or bread baking or cookies or just some familiar smell, the smell of grass on freshly cut grass on a summer's night, the smell of the ocean, and whatever you, very personal, whatever you smell, and drawing it into that place, allowing that to help to open up this space where the smile, this sincere, beautiful smile resides. You could imagine the smile surrounded by healing light and bright, whatever color comes to your mind, warm. And just allow yourself to imagine this smile. Imagine the light and the color, that smell. Imagine that sense. And in doing so, you really calm and relax the nervous system. You allow yourself to release and digest. You might even notice gurgles in your stomach. Now draw that smile downwards. Allow it to move down towards the heart. Allow the chest to open, to relax, to the heart and the lungs. And as you breathe in that smile and that warmth, that light. Feeling openness and softness. That inner smile travels down into the dantian, to that water element. Feeling that smile and that light, even remembering again that smell. Maybe it's changed at this moment, and that's fine. And breathing into that smile, into the dantian, warming the water elements. Feeling safe, feeling nourished. And this beautiful inner smile. And its warmth and its light moves throughout the body. You might feel it moving from the central places out through the limbs, maybe through the shoulders, down the arms, into the hands, so through the pelvis and the hips, down the legs, into the feet and the toes. And as you're relaxed, your body is receptive to this warmth, to this light, into this feeling of safety and peace. And allow yourself to be here, breathing naturally. And if the mind begins to wander, bring your awareness to the exhalation as you feel the low abdomen draw slightly towards the spine. Creating space for a new inhalation. Creating space for that inner smile and that beautiful healing light to make their way through each tissue, through each cell of the body. Now begin to deepen your breath and maybe sigh on the exhale. Finding a few nice sighs. And place one hand on the low abdomen, on the dantian area, and one hand over the heart. of how we began our practice. And as you breathe, feeling the warmth of your hands on the body and feeling the breath rise to touch the hands. And offering yourself kindness and gratitude. And begin to maybe open the eyes gently and move the wrists, the fingers, the toes, the ankles, just getting a little bit of movement there. And if you're lying down, be very kind to yourself and gentle, maybe rolling over to one side and taking a few moments before pressing yourself up to a seat. And if you're seated in a chair, you can just press yourself up, maybe come to a tall spine and you sway a little bit from side to side and feel very good where you are, knowing that you're exactly where you need to be in that course of our water element, of our yin will and our yang will. And we'll greet each other from the seated place. One right fist of strength, the left hand, friendship, the thumb drawn inward, humility, and together it is respect. And I respect each of you and your practice. And thank you so much for practicing and for practicing with me. It's really an honor to get to be with all of you on Monday mornings.